Your final act of the evening. I legally have to ask this, do we have any Tories or Telegraph readers in the room? No, because if they are, this is the point where you fuck off. If you stay after this, it is on your own head. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, give it up for the fabulous.
Oi, you alright? I don't know about you, but I'm still mourning the death of the country's oldest benefit cheat, the Queen. Where, come on, she had 4 kids, 8 grandkids, 12 great-grandchildren, all on benefits, and she lived on an estate. Wouldn't sound out of place on the Jeremy Kyle show, would it? Of course, conspiracy theorists think she died months ago, but we spent so much money on the Jubilee, they just kept her on ice in Balmoral in a chest freezer. It wasn't just Paddington was CGI. The only reason they thawed her out now is because they couldn't afford the electricity anymore. I don't believe that. The Crown Estate generates its own electricity by burning peasants. I think the Queen died when she met Liz Truss. Just saw that thick bitch and thought, fuck that, I'm off. It's a fitting metaphor for the decline of this country that the last official photograph of our longest serving monarch is her shaking hands with a moron cosplaying Thatcher. Poor old woman thought, fucking hell, I'm back in the 1970s with the rest of us. It's ironic that when the Queen was crowned, the country was so poor we still had rationing. And now they're fucking bringing it back! Now, as you might imagine, I'm not a massive fucking royalist. But the Queen did do her duty by going on lots of holidays in a huge fucking yacht, which must have been a great comfort to all the people working 2 0-hour contracts to feed their kids and are going to keep warm this winter by sewing themselves into their duvets. But in lieu of an empire, the Queen did hold the Commonwealth together. A group of countries that had in common the fact that she stole their fucking wealth. She literally met them wearing a hat made out of jewellery they'd taken off her. Anyone else did that, they'd be on fucking Crime Watch. But she was a massive inspiration to the nation. A supportive mother to a sex offender. A devoted wife to her cousin. Of course, her husband, the late Prince Philip, did a lot for the youth of this country. And lots of kids wanted to do the Duke of Edinburgh, especially after he'd introduced them to Jimmy Savile. But the royals do have a great affinity with children, as they've watched successive Tory governments push millions of them into poverty, or just sexually assaulted them. But lots of people have said it's time for the monarchy to modernise. And what better way than making the new Queen a man? Lots of people have called for a gender-neutral royal. But what would you call a gender-neutral royal? Prince Edward. Of course, with the death of Her Majesty, all the royal family go up a notch like some awful fucking sports league. Of course, you got King Charles III, who simultaneously becomes monarch and replaces Richard III as Cockney rhyming slang for having a shit. Camilla becomes Queen Consort, when previously she was just a fucking escort. William becomes Prince of Wales and his wife Kate becomes the Princess of Wales, a title that previously died in an underpass in Paris. Prince Andrew will still be known as the Duke of Nonceminster. But he picks up a new Scottish title, the Loch Ness Noncer. According to the Daily Mail, Harry and Meghan will now be known as the ungrateful traitors that killed the fucking Queen. But everyone was surprised at Her Majesty's death, especially David Icke, who thought she was a baby-eating monster from another planet. But the BBC leapt on the opportunity. It is booming up here, isn't it? The BBC have leapt on the opportunity to show their patriotism by adopting a broadcasting policy more like North Korea. And of course the entire country has been mesmerised by the new reality TV show, The Queue, where thousands of sycophantic peasants forgot the deprivations of late model capitalism by shuffling along the South Bank like a Depression-era soup queue to look at a box that may or may not contain the body of the richest woman in the world, Schrodinger's sarcophagus. At times the queue outstretched the one at my local A&E, and the wait time of 19 hours was reportedly shorter than the amount of time it takes for the police to turn up at the scene of domestic violence. However, the BBC have been commended for their coverage of the queue, while Channel 5 were criticised for suggesting that she'd reach more people if they put her on the back of a flatbed lorry and drove her around the country in a Perspex coffin. Of course, when the news broke, lots of parts of British life were put on hold. Banks were closed. Food banks, that is. Sports were cancelled. Well, the football was. Rugby and cricket continued because of the class system. The horse racing was stopped because the poor horses were too sad to run and the Queen had died. To commemorate the occasion, the British government postponed any kind of inheritance tax for the royal family, and as a mark of respect, on the day of the funeral, water companies stopped pumping shit onto the beaches of Britain. On the big day, a lot of the royal family opted to wear military fancy dress. Apart from Prince Andrew, who came dressed as the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. According to the Daily Mail, Harry and Meghan came dressed as those ungrateful traitors that killed the Queen. At Westminster, the procession of British Prime Ministers looked like the ascent of man, but in reverse. But the world was treated to the pomp and pageantry of the entirety of the British Armed Forces. No, seriously, that was all the British Army that is left after Tory cuts. Well, apart from the ones that got crippled in Afghanistan. But apparently, the funeral has a price tag of over £6 million. Yeah. And I don't think the Royal London over 50s plan is ever going to recover from that. Although some people have pointed out that we could actually pay for it all by just having a windfall tax on bunting. Of course, when the Queen was crowned, we all enjoyed coronation chicken. And now she's died, we're all looking forward to funeral gruel. But for one person, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. as a 75-year-old man gets his first actual job. Of course, people who think that a royal funeral is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity have not checked out how old Charlie is. I think we'll be paying for the whole thing again quite soon. Especially if Harry and Meghan come visiting, according to the Daily Mail. But some conspiracy theorists think that Charlie will live forever because he drinks the blood of children harvested on his duchy estate. Well, at least it's organic. But lots of things will change now we've got a king. But unfortunately, the Treasury have just printed loads of indestructible money with the Queen's head on it. But as everyone on the internet has already pointed out, all of London's money is already covered in Charlie. There is some good news though. Meghan Markle will now feel safe getting in the back of a car again. Although now Charlie is head of both the church and the army, he can have his shot or nonced to death. But you know what, joking apart, I am proud to be a subject in the world's greatest democracy, where the head of government has been chosen by 80,000 gammon-faced racists, and the head of state has been chosen by a fictional religious character. God save the king.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, we overran, we started waiting on the rest of it. Have you had a good night?